Social media is full of broke coaches teaching other broke coaches how to make money. It's gay, it's called a pyramid scheme, and my business partner and I refuse to fit in with these clowns. So we spent 2 years building a $227,000 a month money printing machine in private. We've been asked what we do, how we do it, and only now are we ready to teach. Because the reality about social media is gurus are not entrepreneurs, they're entertainers. They know how to use motivational quotes, inspiration, they know how to persuade you with language. They don't understand the fundamentals of business because business is boring as fuck. If I jumped on Instagram and I tried to create a high engagement reel talking about systems, operationalizing things, team building, culture, lead generation, no one would watch it because people have a short attention span and they're on the platform for entertainment. So the reason we built this $227,000 a month empire in private, in silence, without telling anyone what we do and how we do it, because we wanted to help, we wanted to teach, we refused to do so without proof. I still remember to this day, it was about 1.5 years, 2 years ago, my business partner Tyson and I were sitting at an Italian restaurant. We went for a walk to a park. We spoke for 8 hours about what type of business we wanted to build, and we decided we wanted something that was scalable, it didn't rely on our faces, and it didn't involve any social media, and now we have done that. We spent 2 fucking years in the trenches going from zero, broke, accounts overdrawn, to $227,000 a month in revenue at 60% profit margins. Because we knew that we needed to be in the trenches to become the men that could provide value, and now we are ready to do so. It's simple, you need proof before promise, and now we're gonna walk through the operationalization of an online business. Now, business is incredibly simple. Doesn't mean it's easy, but it is very simple and it doesn't need to be overcomplicated. And we can break this down into 5 key pillars, all feed into the next. Now, the first pillar of this pyramid here, this is not a pyramid scheme like all the gurus, but it is a pyramid that feeds into the next stage. And so the first level is always to provide value. The way a business works is you provide value to someone in exchange for money, which is the value they give you. And so if we were to define this, value involves transferring information, frameworks, systems, knowledge, anything that will help a person bridge the gap between where they are and where they want to get to. So let's say hypothetically, there's a social media marketing agency making $10,000 a month. They want to make $50,000 a month. The reason why they have not achieved this yet is either number one, they don't know what they need to do in order to do so, or they don't have the tools and resources required to fulfill on that information. And so hypothetically, the skills or the information or the frameworks used to get from here to here, maybe sales, marketing, lead generation, automation, systems, all of these things. These are the things that we use to bridge the gap between this and this. And that is what value is. Value is something that your client does not have, whether it be information, knowledge, system, that you have. And so you now have something to give them that they previously lacked. Now, once we understand what our value is, and mind you, you do not have a business until you provide unique value, because without value, then there's no reason for someone to pay you. Now, from here, we need to be able to bundle that value into a package. And so the way that we do this is really simple. We compress our knowledge, our skills, our systems, whatever it is that we have that our client or the person we're helping doesn't, into a repeatable mechanism. And so this is a specific example from our last business. My business partner and I built $227,000 a month. This was a lead generation system. And now that we're not scaling this business anymore, we can share this publicly, but this was a cold email system. And so these are all of the skills, information, and knowledge we had. We bundled that into an ICP lead generation system. And what this means is we had a really deep understanding of the psychology, the pain points, the desires, all the information about our ideal client. We understood copywriting, sales, marketing, automation, softwares. We understood lead scraping. And so we created a system. This was automated, it was repeatable, and it was scalable. This mechanism would scrape leads from social media platforms, add them all into a database, as you can see here, then transfer that database into a cold email outreach system, which would then, of course, have very carefully curated and crafted cold emails based off of copywriting, sales, marketing, things like that, to these leads. And so we were able to systemize this into a repeatable mechanism that would generate leads for this business. And so if we come back up here, understanding the value inside of this system comes down to copywriting, it comes down to softwares, automation, cold email marketing, and ICP psychology, and of course lead scraping. We were then able to bundle all of these skills into one unique mechanism, which means we now have value to provide. Now, of course, we were providing this value to ourselves, but this is a sellable system. And so this feeds perfectly into the next layer of the pyramid, which is lead generation. Please understand, a business does not come down to having an ABN or a registered business name or having your taxes set up. You do not have a business until there is money coming through. There is cash flow. That is what a business is. Now, money is generated through an exchange in value. The way you get money into your business is by giving some value to someone that they deem more important than the money they have. So, for example, let's say I went to a coffee shop If I paid $5 for a long black triple shot, the reason I parted with that $5 is because I placed more value on either the outcome or the feeling that was provided to me from consuming that coffee. Would I spend $5 on a drink that I do not like a fucking pumpkin juice or something? No, because I don't see value in the product that I'm getting. And so the way that you get money into your business is through leads. The way you get leads is by providing them something that they value more than the money you're charging. It's a simple exchange in value. Without leads, you have no income. Without income, you have no business. And you need to create a repeatable and scalable mechanism like I just showed you up here. Now, the way that my business partner and I built this last business, we did it back to front. We focused on fulfillment, offer creation, client avatar, ICP, all of these things first before lead generation. This was a very expensive mistake. We left lead generation to the end. Lead generation, once you understand the value you provide, needs to be the first thing you do, because that is how you're going to get money into your business, and money equals fuel for your business. Now, once we have leads coming through the door, we need to systemize and optimize our fulfillment. Now, this comes down to a structured process of delivering your promised outcome to your clients or the people you're helping, not just consistently and simply, but at scale and without relying on you. If your fulfillment relies on you doing everything, this is not scalable. And eventually you are going to burn out. You're going to hit capacity because you can only do a certain amount of tasks in a certain day. So we need to be able to systemize the fulfillment of the desired outcome. If we come back up here, our client is at, let's say, $10,000 a month. Our knowledge and value is going to help them get to $50,000 a month, but we need to be able to systemize that. We need to create a mechanism that will allow them to get from here to here without relying on our input. Now, this comes down to obviously leverage, and we're going to go into this in layer number 5. But these are the key points when it comes to fulfillment. It needs to be as clear as possible. It needs to be incredibly clear what you were doing for your client, what outcome they're achieving, what they need to do, what they can expect from you, and what you expect from them. Clarity is king. Next is efficiency and effectiveness. Efficiency is the speed at which you achieve this desired outcome. Effectiveness is the quality at which you achieve this desired outcome. Now, when you are creating an automated mechanism that will help fulfill whatever value you are providing these clients, it needs to be done as quickly, as effectively, and as clearly as possible without sacrificing quality. A lot of people make the mistake of speeding up their fulfillment, trying to get everything done as quickly as possible, but they sacrifice quality at the same time. And so there is a sweet spot at which you can fulfill quickly, effectively, and clearly without sacrificing the quality of the outcome you're helping this person generate. And so the way that you do package all of this value into a unique automated fulfillment mechanism is through things like SOPs, strategy calls, documentation, audits, pre-built systems and automations. This system that I showed you up here, this is a prime example. This is a cold email system. It is done through Zapier, Go High Level, and Instantly, 3 different softwares. This could be built into a template. And so if a client hypothetically came in and we were going to teach them how to create a lead generation cold emailing system mechanism, whatever it is, instead of manually doing that for them and building it out, which would take time out of my day, we could simply save this as a template, create an SOP, which is simply a recording of how to actually set this up. They download the template into their business, into their Zapier and High Level and Instantly accounts. They watch the SOP recording that I sent them, so they are able to customize this and tweak it to suit their specific business avatars. And then from there, if they have any questions, sure, we can run strategy calls, one-on-one diagnosis calls, audits, but we have just, in doing that, provided them value that they didn't have before, which is going to help them achieve their desired outcome. We've done it without our input. This has been automated through a mechanism of fulfillment, and we have done it clearly, right? Because we've given them video instructions on how to achieve it. We've done it efficiently because it hasn't taken time out of our day, and we've done it effectively because this template has been proven to generate good results. And the final layer of this business pyramid is to systemize everything. It comes down to creating a clean, clear, and concise, repeatable process that produces consistent outputs regardless of who executes them. And so this can be done through automations, can be done through capital, obviously having money and cash flow, can be done through team delegation, and it can be done through referrals. It is simple. The way a business generates money is through specific inputs. For example, if you are running a social media marketing agency, the way you get money is by getting a client in, running meta ads for them, producing them results. What got you that client was lead generation, potentially testimonials, and obviously fantastic fulfillment. And so if you can create a system that automates the entire process, for example, automates the lead generation, so it gets a client in automatically without your input, then automates the fulfillment of that outcome for the client. So for example, sending them SOPs and pre-built templates. You've now automated lead generation, getting a client, fulfillment, producing results, and then you can then create, let's say hypothetically, an automated mechanism that will generate referrals from that client. And so now you have created systems that have produced leverage, meaning you have more time in your day to get more clients in and create more results for them. And so if you are stuck doing everything inside of your business, there is a capacity at which you can no longer work anymore, meaning your income cannot grow. And so this is why systemization is the last phase of scaling a business. Because number one, you need to provide value, meaning there is something you can give someone for money in return. You need to be able to package that value in a way that shows them, hey, I have this, you don't have it, you also don't know how to do it, and so you're gonna need to pay me to get the result. You need to have leads coming in. If you don't have leads, you have no one to give this value to. You need to be able to fulfill effectively and somewhat automatically through a unique mechanism, because if you are manually fulfilling, that means you have no time left to get new leads in and more cash flow. Once you have mastered fulfillment, you've got leads coming through, you have immense value inside of a package to provide, you can systemize your business, and that is what unlocks scale. It's simple. We love business, we understand business, and we thrive on coming into other businesses and helping them scale. And unlike all the other fake gurus in the space that preach $10,000 a month, $100,000, we have done it for real. We spent the time refining our craft and becoming experts so we can provide real value. So if you want to understand what goes into scaling an online business, subscribe below, because the next video is going to dissect the fundamental system we use to optimize every single stage of our company.